crafternoon, friends. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world today. Today we are going to be playing with Grayscale. Now, if you don't know what Grayscale is, I'll explain that in just a minute. So the way it worked, the way this whole video came about was on Tuesday night, I shared a bunch of card ideas using our brand new Wildflower Stems 3D embossing folder and layering stencil and die set. And I made these colorful cards. Why don't you go to the overhead? These colorful cards, lots of bright oranges and fuchsias, purples, and then these beautiful autumn golds, right? So Tom from the dead space said, I wonder what these would look like in Grayscale. And I said, oh, Grayscale, that would be kind of cool. And a bunch of people in the comments were like, yeah, do one in Grayscale. Yeah, I want to see it in Grayscale. And I just kept going with my plan to use these colors. And I started doing the next one in bright colors. And people were like, no, 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 do Grayscale, do Grayscale. And Tom was like, wow, my idea really took off, huh? You should do one in Grayscale. So I was going to do a master layouts video today, but last night I had to teach a class for scrapbook and cards today, and that went till about 9:15 last night. So by the time I got home, I knew I wouldn't have time to do all the prep work for a master layouts video. So I thought today would be the perfect day to do what Tom wants. And we're going to make these cards today in Grayscale. So let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
You know, I'm feeling a little strange and I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Really got to be careful what I say around here.
Tom is in Grayscale, so if you want to know what Grayscale looks like,
that explains
that is Tom. The dead space, Grayscale in the dead space.
The gray space today. Yeah, boy. Just a little comment and everything went sideways.
Everything turned gray real quick, huh?
All right.
So Grayscale, tell me, I'm explaining this right? Grayscale is kind of like, you know how you see colors, right? You see yellows and you see pinks and you see oranges and greens and darks, dark blues and everything. Well, if you had that same exact view, but you were looking at it in a black and white photograph, that would be Grayscale. All of those colors, the lighter shades, would be in different light shades of gray, and it would go all the way from the lightest shade of gray that looks almost white down to black, right? That's Grayscale. So it's like a rainbow of grays.
Yeah, and you see it a lot in different art forms, and it's always like amazing, and it looks like maybe it's not that easy to do.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out today because I have no idea. I'm going to do ink blended Grayscale today, and I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll give it our best, right?
Okay.
Yes, and somebody said gray, then sepia. And I think it was Tracy in our Facebook group said you should definitely try sepia scale, like all the different browns. That would be really cool. Like antique photographs when they didn't have them in color, but they would like tint them that sepia color. That would be cool too. We should try that at some point too. But let's go to Grayscale because this is what Tom asked for. We're doing Grayscale today.
Back to the dead
yes,
space.
like a 1960s television. Exactly. Okay, so I want to show you all of the different grays that we have at Gina K Designs just so that you can kind of get a view of what they look like. Now, I just inked them up here, and this is actually a gray right here. It's probably hard for you to see, but if I turn it this way out of the light a little bit, you can see it. This is our Whisper, and this is an amalgam ink, so it's a little different than our water-based ink, but a lot of our designers use this color. You really got to look for it to do the no line coloring because it's just enough to see the lines, but you don't really see the lines, right? So let's show the different colors in cardstock. I think that would be the best way for you guys to be able to see it. So I'm just pulling these out. I grabbed one of each off the shelf, and then I just took one out. So this is Whisper, okay? And you can see that that color matches really well. It's hard to see it on white, but it is a perfect match actually for our Whisper ink. So this is our palest gray. This one's really hard to use for ink blending because you really aren't going to see very much of it. Our next in line would be this one, which is Soft Stone. So Soft Stone is a cool gray. Definitely a cool gray. It may even look a little bit blue on your screen, and that's because it's sitting up against a warm gray tabletop. So let me see if I can fix that for you. Let me grab this black piece, and you can see here. So we've got Whisper, and let's zoom in a little bit. We'll try to get rid of the gray around the outside to make it a little bit, there we go. Okay, so we've got Whisper and we've got Soft Stone. Definitely a cooler gray. Then the next gray that we have in line is our Stormy Sky. So this is probably the most traditional gray that we have. You can see it up against black. It's kind of like, it just reminds me of like a cardigan sweater, you know, that kind of warm winter sweater that you sit in your chair by the fireplace, that kind of gray, right? Then we have, which would be our darkest gray. This one is called Slate. And this one could be mistaken for black if it was just sitting on your desk until you see it up against black, and you can see how black our black is. This is our black Onyx cardstock. Slate is kind of that, you know, soft black, that charcoal. And then we have one more gray in our collection that has a tint of green in it, and it's called Moonlit Fog. This is another really beautiful gray. I certainly don't use it enough. But these are all of the different grays that we have at Gina K Designs. And then I have a black piece here just to, you know, I didn't know that I was going to bring this out. So these are the grays. And of course, white would fall into the Grayscale family. I wouldn't use ivory. I would be more likely to use white unless I was really only focusing on really super warm grays. But ivory would be, let me see if I can find a piece of ivory in here. I have one here. So ivory's got quite a bit of yellow in it compared to white. You know, the camera and the lights, it's kind of hard. You could see the starkness of the white resting on the ivory. But I would use white more with the grays than I would ivory. But it's totally up to you. You certainly can use them. So I just wanted to show you the different grays that we have to work with today while we're doing our ink blending. And we'll see which ones work and which ones don't. But Grayscale's kind of fun. Now, I do have a couple of Grayscale videos on my channel already, but they are videos that would be more like colored pencil videos, stuff like that, coloring in Grayscale using Prismacolor pencils. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is emboss this new embossing folder. So we have that, and I thought I could try two different things. I could try doing one with the layering stencils in the embossing folder for the new Wildflower Stems. We only have a couple hundred of these left if you're interested. And then I would also just go with a plain stencil set like our Whimsical Primrose. And then we could turn these into two quick cards today. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so if you didn't watch Tuesday night's video, this is a brand new embossing folder, and I'm going to emboss it according to the instructions that I shared on Tuesday night. So I'm just using the 2D setting on the intercut, and then I've got it turned tight to the -3. And that's what works best with this particular embossing folder. So each one of them, you should start at the instructions on the packaging. And then if you need to get tighter, which I definitely needed to get tighter with this one, then just go ahead and, you know, make it tighter. Okay. All All right, so we'll see what happens here. So you guys might notice also that we weren't able to post this live on Facebook today. So I know a lot of you are maybe watching from Facebook, but you're not really making comments because you don't have a Facebook account. You know, having a Facebook account is really just kind of like getting a Gmail address, getting a Google account, and then you're able to join us here and chat on YouTube. We're finding that Facebook is becoming less and less live friendly. The lives only last for a month and then they disappear. And, you know, so I think going forward, we might just only go live on YouTube. Last week on Tuesday, was it Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night, Facebook made the software crash. And so I think it's better for us to just stick with YouTube. And I know a lot of you watch on YouTube, but most of the designers like Jennifer McGuire and Kathy Zilski, they only go live on YouTube. So I know that you guys are on YouTube, most of you. Facebook was a nice perk when we were able to do it, but for some reason they're getting really weird about it. So join us on YouTube. Come on over, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have that. Love to have you over here. Okay, so I have this is perfect, my black ink stand, and I think I'm going to start with the soft stone. So that will be our lightest gray here that we're going to do. And I'm going to do very similar to the way that I did it in full color, like you see on these cards. Except you see how we've got these oranges and then, you know, it gets into this like tomato soup color and then down into that dark brown. I'm going to do this all in different shades of gray and I'm going to hope for the best. So, okay. Now I'm going to pop this stencil on top and you'll notice that these stencils are just a hair bigger than the design itself, and that's okay. That's kind of what we want because we want to be able to kind of get down around those edges just a little bit. But most of our ink blending is just going to be right along the top of the design. All right. Okay. So,
quick question.
Yes.
What colors would you use for a sepia scale card?
Gosh.
Warmer colors, right?
Boy, I don't know. See, you're bringing up sepia now, and they're going to start asking for sepia. I don't know. I think probably I would stick with warm cocoa, dark chocolate, charcoal brown, chocolate, truffle. Maybe even go into honey mustard a little bit just because that is a very, very brown yellow. And as long as it had enough, you know, brown over it, I think it would work. But that's what I would try. That's what I would try. Okay. Yeah, we'd like to keep going on Facebook, but Facebook just isn't playing nice with other apps. They only want you to use their Facebook Live. They don't want you to use these third-party apps, and we need them. We have to do the third-party app. All right, so I'm going to start with a real light hand, and I'm going to kind of just go around the perimeter here.
Is it easier to overdo
the gray
than compared to color?
I think it would be. I mean, you really do have to like watch how dark you go because if you want to add the next gray and your gray is too dark, you might lose the ability to get a lot of those shadows in there, you know? But I think this is going to be actually pretty cool. Tom, this might be a great idea. The one thing that's fun about this Grayscale card, and I think a lot of you will like this, is you don't have to think about what colors to make each individual component, right? You just have to, because it's gray. That's it. Gray is the color that you're going to make each individual component. So that does eliminate thinking, okay, should I make this flower pink and this one purple? Should I make this one orange? You don't have to worry about that. It's all going to be gray. So now I'm going to use some Stormy Sky next. while this is still in here. And I am going to get one of these flat brushes. These are our detail brushes. And I'm going to ink up one of these. I want to make sure that I get it nice and inky. It's a new brush with all these different grays. Normally with gray, I use one brush. I use my black brush. And I just wipe it off real well and then go to the light gray and then, you know, go to the next color. But with doing all these different grays, I really feel like I needed a couple extra brushes, which is fine. You don't have to have extra brushes. You have more time than I do when I'm live to clean your brush and then go to the next color. All right, so now we're going to add this darker tone in here. Get some depth and dimension. Okay, I like the way this is happening. So what would you use a grayscale card for? Well, I think that a grayscale card would be a really pretty card to send as a sympathy card. You know, it almost conveys the solemnness of a sympathy card, and I think that that might work really well. So you might consider trying grayscale, even with your coloring, even with your Prismacolor pencils or your Copics, trying a grayscale card and seeing how it works. Yeah, wetting too, right? Because gray sometimes can convey white on white. If you do really light gray, it kind of just gives the shadows instead of, you know, because you can't really ink white on white. You wouldn't see it. So having that light gray, it would be really good for a wetting. So I'm just doing down near the bases here. If you hear any beeping, that's my pump. I changed my diabetic, I'm diabetic, I'm type 1 diabetic, so I wear a pump and I wear a CGM, which is a glucose monitor. And sometimes they don't talk to each other. There's nothing wrong. It's just that, you know, the Wi-Fi connection between them or something, the Bluetooth isn't working and it starts screaming at me. It's not the end of the world and not anything to worry about, so don't worry. But it's funny, if I have any diabetic friends out there, they will understand this. So I wear a pump all the time. It's on my belly, and I wear a glucose monitor on my belly all the time. Never take it off. You wear it when you swim, you wear it when you bathe, you wear it when you shower, all of that. Well, last night, my pump expired, and my glucose monitor expired at the same time. And I was able to take them both off. And in diabetic world, we call that being able to take a naked shower. It means that you could take a shower where you're not wearing a medical device. And it was so fun. It's the little things, right? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see how this is looking so far. So far, I really like the way it looks, and I haven't even taken the stencil off yet.
You're working on the embossed side, right?
I am working on the embossed side. Oh, look. Look how pretty that is. Oh, okay. I'm digging this.
All right, questions are pouring in.
Okay.
From Eleanor.
I am going to just add a little bit of that darker gray right on this. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, she said, I only have one shade of gray ink. Could I add black to make it a dark gray for shading?
Yes. Yes, you can. If you add black and you go with a super light hand, it will definitely appear to be a darker shade of gray. So let me see if I could turn this off so it's not beeping the whole time. Let's see. I'll do it.
And Diana would like to know, could you mix any blue in with the grayscale? And if so, which one would you use?
So, you mean just to add a pop of color or to make your gray a little bit more blue? If I was just trying to make my gray a little bit more blue, I'd probably mix in a little powder blue, because that is more of a grayish blue. It's powdery looking. If I was wanting to add just a pop of color to a grayscale, I think I would add a little teal or something, a little turquoise, just if I wanted a pop of bright. Okay, so now let's go with the next stencil. I'm going to finish off these flowers. What do you guys think so far? Isn't this fun? It's really looking cool. I like it. Oh, and a big shout out to Brianne Loveland. Thank you, Brianne, for being here in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube for the first time, you may notice that when I use something on my card, Brianne shares the link on our website for people that are looking for that product and don't want to be busy surfing and trying to find it while they're watching the video, but they want to get it, they want to put it in their cart or whatever. So Brianne always helps everybody. If I say the name of a product, she will share the link just so that you can find it easily. So thank you, Brianne, and we love you. Thank you for being here. All right, so now I'm back to the light color again. I'm back to soft stone. And I'm doing the soft stone on everything. This does make it really easy to work with because you aren't worried at all about like, oh, should I have used a different red there, or this one doesn't go with that one. It's just gray and gray and gray. And I think the coolest thing is how that little bit of darker gray just changes the whole thing from just being more of a flat design, even though it's not flat, it's 3D, but it gives it that depth and dimension when you get those darker colors in there. So back to the Stormy Sky. Let's see. And now I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to get some of that darker tone just along that inside edge. And I'm choosing that inside, those inside petal edges, because what we're doing is we're creating, our eye gets drawn toward the center as if it's like, you know, sinking in, and it's darker and deeper in the center. And Brianne, the other night, somebody was asking, and I don't think I asked you to do this, but if you wouldn't mind doing it, everybody, when you don't do it, the reason why I'm asking you to do it is because when you don't do it, customer service gets a lot of phone calls about it. If you would share a link to your ink stands, these new black ink stands, and any of your ink stands, so people can find them, because people love the ink stands, but sometimes they can't find them, or they spell the name of your store wrong or something and they can't find them. So if you could just share the link, that would make it a lot easier for everyone. I love my ink stands because they have the rubber feet on the bottom, and it kind of helps keep the ink. You know, if I was doing this with an ink pad and I was trying to do that, it would be shifting all over the place. But having it in a stand like this is great. And also, if you have a couple colors out at the same time, like if I wanted to have both of these out at the same time, seriously, I mean, I would not know which gray is which, but having the little lid spot on the inkstand, I know exactly which color is which. So they're just a great little investment for your craft room. And Brianne and her husband are a small family business. They make these. Made in the USA. All right, so I just shifted that, so I want to shift it back. Okay, there we go. I'm going to add a little bit more gray down here at the bottom. You could see I'm mostly rubbing on the stencil, and I just want to kind of trickle the edges of the bristles over the bottom, just to add depth at the bottom, but I don't want the whole thing to turn Stormy Sky. This one I don't mind getting more in because it's like a two-part thing. And this one, I just want it to go more along the top because this is a petal for the flower as well. So you just have to have a little patience with yourself trying to get it in there. And it just defines that line between the petals a little bit. And then this one I'm just going to go up from the bottom just to create a little depth toward the bottom of that little bud. Okay, now let's see how this looks. Do I need a little more in here? Maybe. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, come on. Tom, this was such a good idea. See, everybody's so happy that you suggested it. It really is a good idea. All right, that's beautiful. That is just beautiful. Okay, now for the centers of these flowers, let's go even darker. Let's get Slate in the action. This Slate? Yeah, this is Slate. This is my original Slate that they sent me for color testing all those years ago. I don't use Slate enough. I use it once in a while for greetings when I don't want the greeting to be so harsh. But I certainly don't use it enough, and this is kind of making me want to use these grays a lot more. It was really fun. Alrighty, so I've got that all taped down there. Now I'm gonna use this same tiny brush for the Slate. You could also use black here in the center. Linda said Tom is gray too. Yes, he is. Today he is definitely gray, living in the gray space. Sorry, my bracelet is jingle-jangling here. Tom gave me this bracelet. What was this for? Was it for Mother's Day?
It's possible.
And it's Larimar. It's like an oceany stone. So you know me and turquoise and any color that's turquoise. I love it. All right, so let's get a little more in there. And then I'm going to do a little bit here at the top of this flower and just work my way down a little lighter there. I'm going to do the same thing here, work my way down just a little lighter as I go. And I think I will use this color for all of just the stems. Darker and then just kind of lightening my hand a little bit as I work my way down. I probably should move this because we got to get it all the way down to the bottom. But I'm going to do these a little bit lighter. Yeah, this is fun. Such a pretty look. You know, and even when Tom mentioned it, I wonder how that would look in grayscale. I thought, yeah, that would probably be pretty, but you know, we're so into color as card makers that we don't think gray a lot. Well, maybe you guys do. I don't. I tend to always be thinking bright, fun, you know, summery. And even during the holidays, I'm thinking green, red, turquoise. I don't think a lot along the grayscale line, but I think I'm going to love it. Okay, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do these stems in the soft stone. So let's do that. And I'm going to add black right around the perimeter of that, just to like really make it stark black. All right, so I'm kind of just those leaves. I'm holding the stencil in place just so it doesn't shift at all. I could secure it a little bit better. With tape, but this is all right. This is working. Now I think we need to do more of a two-tone on these leaves, so I'm just going to wipe this color off, this slate off on my paper towel over here, and then I'm going to go back to Stormy Sky, and I'm going to add some Stormy Sky going up the center, just to kind of add depth into where the leaves kind of go into where the stem is. Kind of like we did on the flowers. See how that's kind of creating some darkness in there? Now I don't want to go with black ink as just a main color here. I will add a little black ink around the center of that sunflower image. I think I can just get a little bit in there just by scrubbing it back and forth. And we'll do the same thing with this one. You know, this is a very detailed design. I think the Whimsical Primrose will be a little easier. Won't have as much detail though, so you will lose a little of that. Okay. I might add just a little bit down there. All right, now let me get my black ink pad. So I have black Onyx here. I'm going to use this same brush, and I'm going to get a little black on there, and then I'm just going to go right around the perimeter here just to really darken that up. Let me get rid of that off of the brush. And I'm just rubbing that over an alcohol spot on my paper towel just to clean all the excess off. All right, you guys ready? Oh, how pretty. It's coming out so pretty. So do you guys think I should add a little black in here and in here too, the way I did? See how that's popping a little bit more? I think I should. So I'm going to add just a little bit of black in there just to make those centers pop a little more against all that gray. It's after I clean the brush too. It's okay. Clean it again just to make it a little darker. I feel like it'll pop a little bit more. See that? They just pop out more. Okay. Grayscale for the win. Tom, I'm pretty good about yourself over there in the gray space right now.
Feels a little gray, actually.
All right, and now we're going to put our final coat of design here. Do the final design. Where in the heck? There we go. That looks pretty good. So to make this easier to line up, I'm really just focusing on these three little dot areas that cover those little leaves and making sure that, you know, this kind of looks like it's going down the center. And it does. It looks pretty good. All right, I've got that there. Now I'm going to go back to our darkest gray again, or should I use a little black to just... No, I'll use the dark gray. I'm worried about too much black. We'll lose the grayness if there's too much black popping through. So, I've got Slate here. And then I'm just going to scrub the Slate right in there like this. Because that's a super skinny line. These stencils, wait till you see the stencils, how detailed they are. I mean, they're unbelievable how much detail is in these stencil designs. So it's really easier to take like a detail brush like that and just kind of scrub back and forth along these skinny lines than it is to try to like do a circular motion. All right. Just these leaves up here, I'm going to do a little bit differently. Let me get all these done first. All right. Now for these, I'm going to do a little bit of a circular motion right along the side here. Like that. Along the bottom. like that. And then I'm going to finish it off with whatever gray is on my soft stone brush, just to have some shadowy effect in there. There it is. Grayscale Wildflower Stems. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. That's pretty. Okay. And you can kind of see how as the inks dry, you don't really see the difference between like where one gray started and one finished. It just all blends together, just like all our other inks. And you get that really good fade because of that smoothing agent. Wouldn't that make a pretty sympathy card? I really think it would. Okay, so let's put this aside and then we'll whip up 2 cards at the end, but I do want to try it with the Whimsical Primrose too. That's just a lot of big sweeping motions with the blending brushes, and I think it'll happen really fast, but it's nice to kind of see how you can do it without the embossing folder too and how it would look, and I think it's going to look really nice. Okay. So that was the Wildflower Stems. Now, let's get a piece of cardstock here. This is kind of big, but it'll work, because we can cut these out later. So this is the Whimsical Primrose. I love this stencil so much. I've done a couple of dedicated videos with this one, or at least one dedicated video with it. Okay, so we're going to use layer 1. We want to make sure that we can see that it says Whimsical Primrose 1 here. And you can put it wherever you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put it like kind of right here in the main center of this. It's really easy to line up, so you'll be able to see it no matter where you put it. And then I'm going to start with that soft stone again. I know, I never thought I'd be a Grayscale fan either, but then you see that and you're like, okay, there's no way that I thought I would like that as much as all those bright colors. But it's pretty. You could try it with the ruffled blooms for those of you that got that 3D embossing stencil, and we've got many other 3D stencils coming throughout the year, so stay tuned.
A few viewers have suggested a little bit of silver in there somewhere.
Oh, silver, yeah. Silver would be great. You could use a little metallic ink. You could use some like solar paste or lunar paste. You could do a little bit of embossing maybe with some embossing ink, definitely. Or even just use a silver card base would be really pretty. All right, so let me get this back in place. I had this like off the screen. So we're going to start with the soft stone, and I'm going to do kind of like all around, leaving a little bit of light space in the center. The other thing that you can do with these Grayscale cards, especially stencils like this, because it doesn't have much texture, you can go in and add little details with a gray or a black colored pencil. So if you wanted it to have maybe some little stroke lines in there to denote texture in the petals or the leaves, you certainly could do that, and that would be really pretty. I do have other Grayscale videos where I show some of that, so definitely go over to my YouTube channel if you're just watching from the link and you're not actually on YouTube. You know, go over to my YouTube channel. Best way to find it is below the screen. You should see my name. You can click on my name. That'll take you right to my channel. And then there's a little search on the channel, if you're on a desktop, where you can type in Grayscale, and any videos that I do with Grayscale will come up. But you can also just type in the search bar on YouTube, Gina K Designs Grayscale, and my Grayscale videos will come up. All right, so now I'm going to move to Stormy Sky. I'm going to add just a little Stormy Sky. I'm going to use a smaller brush here just to add a little bit of Stormy Sky kind of around the perimeter. I don't want to add too much in here because we still have another layer to do. But I want to Get enough ink on this brush. There we go. Okay. So all I really want to do here is just add a little bit of kind of defining the edges a little bit with a darker gray. It might be a little hard to see, but once I take the stencil off, you'll see how crisp this makes the edges look. I don't want to go too far in and take away from the second layer, but you'll see how it crisps things up just a little bit. And you can do this with any color. You know, if you're using a red or you're using a pink and you just want the edges to be a little bit more defined, you can just take a darker shade and just lightly just trickle the brush edges over the edge, and it just almost looks like you took a pencil and you outlined it all. Makes it real crisp. See how they're just sharp around the edges. Got my Italian hands going today. Yes, I am Italian, so I could say it. It's true. It's very hard for us to talk when we're not using our hands. Okay, so now we're going to go with this second layer, and we're just going to lay that on top. That looks pretty good. And now I think I might move into Slate. I know that's dark, but keep in mind that we only have 2 layers of this flower, so why not get a little dramatic? So I'm going to use this same brush. Should I use the same brush? I don't know if I should. No, I'll use this brush. Let me get the Slate on here. I don't want to contaminate my soft stone brush because I might need it again. All right. So this is Slate. And again, Slate can be as light or as dark as you want it based on, you know, how heavy of a hand you have when you're using it. I'm still going a little bit light compared to like how dark you can make it. I just like the shading in that. I think that's gonna look nice. So basically what I'm doing is, instead of just going over the whole thing, I'm kind of working my way like around the perimeter, which leaves it just a little bit lighter in the center. And that just, it makes the design glow a little bit more. That's what that does. It's definitely a darker color. I want a little bit more in there. I don't want that to fade into the other color too much. And then we're going to do our leaves. And again, it's so nice that we don't have to think, which green should I use? Which green is going to go? We're only using gray. Okay, here we go. Isn't that cool? Oh, man. I'm a cheap date. This is all I need. This is so fun. Like, it's exciting to me. I don't need much more than this. Maybe a cup of coffee. Okay, now layer 3 we're going to do. And we'll just pop that in there. Now this layer is going to be a little bit lighter. So what I might do is I might just go back to this soft stone again and add a little bit of the Stormy Sky or whatever's left on this brush without re-inking. We'll get some depth and dimension. I don't even have this taped down. It's how excited I am to get it done and see it. Oh, I love that. It would be nice if I taped it down, though. I think I'm going to tape it down. It's moving all over the place. But it's okay. I didn't mess it up yet. All right, now I'm going to use whatever's left on this brush just to add a little shading kind of coming up from the bottom of these leaves. I'm going to need a little more ink than that. So I'm going back to Stormy Sky. That's my medium gray, and Slate's going to be my dark gray. Just a little bit kind of coming up from the bottom of these leaves. It's okay if you get a little bit on the top of that one. That's kind of that crisping thing again, just going around the edge a little bit. But we do have another layer to put on too. All right, I think that's going to look good. Let's get that other layer on there. Here's Slate. That is really nice. So our next release, we're looking at close to the end of August, around August 26th, I think, which would be the last Tuesday. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but that is what we are thinking is going to be the thing. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I am going to add a pop of black. But first I'm going to do the leaves in Slate. So we're going to get that nice dark gray on the other half of these leaves, but then I'm going to use black for the centers of these primrose flowers. And I'm putting some elbow into this. But I think once this dries, this slate dries, you'll see a big difference between the slate and the black. That's why I want to do those centers of the flowers in black. And it's totally okay, like if you get it in the center, it's not a big deal because you're going over it anyway, right, in black. And so it'll be fine. All right. Now I'll get the black and I'll get my detail brush. And we'll add that pop of black in there. Looks very close, but once it dries up, that slate will look a little less harsh and the black will really pop. There we go. Oh, how pretty. I like them both. And they're very different, right? You know, one's very, you know, flat because it's a layering stencil. We are going to die cut it. So I'm going to grab the die cutting machine and then we'll do a couple greetings and let's make two, well, we'll make a sympathy card for sure. Let's make a sympathy card for sure. And then we don't have to make both sympathy cards. We can do something different. But there they are, our two grayscale looks. How fun. All right, who's going to try grayscale? Please tell me you're going to try it because I want you to feel the same joy that I just felt. It's so much fun. All right, I have my Misty here, and I grabbed a small stamp set that I think would be good. I grabbed this one, the Elegant Thoughts, and I grabbed this one, the Graceful Greetings. Ooh, let's make a get well card because I feel like gray, you know, if you're feeling a little gray, that might be a good one too. Although the cards are so, like, they're really pretty, so you could use it for anything. I mean, if somebody sent me that for a birthday card, I'd be like, wow, that's really cool. But let's do a sympathy card and let's do a get well card. Ooh, we could use this get well soon. Which get well wishes or get well soon? You decide on that one. And I'll do the with sympathy here. Yes, I agree. Grayscale is peaceful. It's kind of like silhouette stamping in a way, right? Silhouette stamping is very, I mean, but there's a lot of vibrant color in silhouette stamping because of the background. Get well soon? Okay, that seems like the one. Yeah, both of these are very elegant, so. Okay, so that one's good, and we'll do Get Well Soon, since that is the most of what's coming through. I like them both, though. Get Well Wishes would have been pretty, too. So whichever one you guys decide when you're making yours, you can't go wrong with either one of these stamp sets for elegant cards. They're both very elegant. This one is just more scripty, and the other one is more block style, but both very, very elegant. All right, Tom. I'm going to stamp this one more time, and then I'm going to die cut the words. And when I die cut these words, do you have a word of the day today?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, I think we need a word of the day, for sure.
I have a quick, clean, and simple word of the day.
A clean and simple word of the day. I don't like the way that sounds. That's cool.
No big story.
No big story. No story? I love the stories, though. Okay, lay it on us. There's Tom in Grayscale with his Grayscale cards. If somebody's just tuning in, it's like, oh my gosh, are they filming in black and white other than these little pieces right here? Okay. Let's hear it.
What do you call it? What's another word for a dude that is really, really short on cash?
A dude that's really, really short on cash. I don't know.
Well, of course, he would be a broke. A broke.
Broke.
Back
Oh my
to
God.
the gray.
To the gray space. That's funny. Bro. Oh my gosh. Anybody that has a son, any mother that has a son's been called bro enough times to know what that means. Bro. All right. It's a good one. That is not the right one. Is this the right one? There it is. Okay. That other one must be grateful because it had a G for sure. Now, I think I'm going to cut out that Primrose in, I might make both of these A2. I know that's going to be so hard to cut off. There you go, Get Well Soon. It's going to be so hard to cut any of it off. I just want to make them the size that they are, but we do have to cut something off. And I don't think there's enough here to make a 5x7. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'd have to see if Master Layouts 8 would work. I gotta find it. I don't even know where. Oh, they're all in here. Let me see. Master Layouts 8. I just don't think that it's gonna be big enough. I should have cut the whole thing bigger. See, this is not gonna. It's not going to make it. This one would make it. But this one, I think, could go down to an A2. We're going to make them A2. It's okay. Got to cut something off. We're going to make them A2. All right, so I'm going to use, because I don't want to lose too much, I'm going to use Master Layouts 14 here. And Master Layouts 14 has a stitched die that I want to use so that I can keep as much of this design as I can. I want to keep that at least right there. That'll be pretty. I know it's hard. I know. It's a little sickening to lose any of it.
It's not wide enough to go the other way, right?
Wide enough?
To go across? I don't think.
No. One thing that we could do, let's try this. We'll lose a little less if we do this. All right, here's what I'm going to do. This is an idea. Just an idea here. Let's cut this down to... We'll cut just a little bit off this side, and we'll cut it to 4 1/4. And we'll cut a little bit off the top here to 5 1/2. All right, so that's an A2 size card front. So we could make this the whole card front and not do any die cutting at all. That would fit up perfectly on an A2 card base, just like that. That would be the card. But we can make it a little interesting by die cutting it, but then keeping the rest of it. So I'm gonna try it. But we get to keep a lot of it. We get to keep all of it, really. So if I cut it here like this, let me move this up a little bit. It's so stuck. Let me just zoom out. That'll be easier. Because I want you to see what I'm doing here. All right. So if I cut this like this, and then we frame it out, I think this is going to work. And it'll just give it a little bit more interest than just a plain flat thing going across. I need more Masking Magic strips. We have to make sure that it looks right, though, that it's like even before we commit to cutting it. Okay, here we go. Everybody pray after all that work, right? Okay, there we go. Now, oh, that didn't cut all the way through. It's okay. I'm gonna just put it back, gently put it back. My bad. I got excited. All right, wish me luck. It's going through again. My Lord. I know, I love 5x7 cards. I love them. No! I'll just tighten that. I'm not taking any chances here. Should have done it. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, so we're going to use this piece. We're not getting rid of this piece. This is going to go onto our card base. And this is the panel that's left behind. So it's still very pretty. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut a plain rectangle from Master Layouts 1. And somebody suggested that, you know, these are great for framing out to see, like, if you like how big that looks. It, you know, you can try it in different spots and stuff. So I think this is going to work. All right, so that was Master Layouts 14. Now we're going to go to Master Layouts 1. All right. Okay, Master Layouts 1. And now we need a black piece of cardstock.
So a few viewers are wondering if you flattened out the embossing by doing
Not
that.
really. It still feels just as three-dimensional. Can you see it? You can still see it. It's definitely still there. I can feel it. I mean, it might be a tiny bit flatter, but certainly not anything to worry about. Now, if you're really worried about that, you can always cut it first and then puzzle it together on your sticky mat, and then it's already, it's already cut. Or you can puzzle it together, tape it together, and run it through the embossing folder. You can run it through the embossing folder again, too, if you want, because it will snap right back in. If I can find the embossing folder here in my mess, I'll show you what I mean. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll show you what I mean. So the embossing folder, it's pretty easy to snap the design right back into place in the folder. And you could tape it onto the folder and you could run it through again if you feel like the impression isn't as deep as you wanted it to be. But I still feel it there, and I still see all the little dots and everything. It's still there. It's good enough to me. So, all right, now we're going to use, it doesn't matter what color card base we use, so I'm just going to use a white card base for this because you're not going to see it anyway. So do I have a white card base somewhere? I'll just cut one. And I'm actually going to use a layering weight piece of white because I have so many layers going on top here that I think it'll work. So we'll make this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we're going to squirt at 5 1/2 here. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to put this frame onto this card front. Okay, so I should probably do this with Connect glue because it'll give me wiggle room, but I'm not. I'm going to do it with tape because I want to be a rebel. And then you can watch me struggle. And you can yell at me and tell me I should have done it with glue. The Connect glue definitely has the wiggle room. But the tape also is very forgiving. Because if something doesn't go on right with the Gina K tape, you can pull it back up and move it. All right, I'm going to start here at the top. I'm just going to get it in position at the top here. That's pretty good. Now, I'm going to gently lay it down. There we go. Okay. So now I've got my frame going around the outside. So we're not losing any of this design, really. This is very exciting. Now this is going to go on top of my black panel that I cut out. And that's just going to give me that skinny little shadow layer that I love. Let's move that up just a little bit. All right, I have to stand on my toes to see this. I'm like so much taller. See, once I come back down from off my toes. And now this, I'm gonna pop up onto here and that will finish off the design. So we didn't lose any of it, but it just makes it a little more interesting, especially since we're doing grayscale. Now, I could have used a different color other than the black. Like, I could have used soft stone, which maybe I should have used soft stone. I'm gonna try it. See how forgiving that is? I feel like, I know not using black is really crazy, or even Stormy Sky might be a little bit softer. I'm gonna just hand cut this one. I'm not die cutting machine out. I know the size. I'm gonna cut this out and make it 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, which is the size of that Master Layouts die. It might not be as perfect, but it'll get us there. Okay. I feel like for the softness of the grayscale, man, this is hard to see. I'll do this. It's hard to see. It's the same color in on my end here. I feel like that's just softer, right? It kind of matches things a little bit better. Could that have come up a little more? Maybe. But I think this just feels better, doesn't it, than the black? Yes. Yes, it does. It feels better. Okay. So now I just have to line that up. Now I could pop it up, but I don't think I'm going to. But if you want more dimension on your card, you could definitely pop it up, and then there'll be some separation. The reason I'm not popping it up is there's not that much around here, so you really don't get to see, you know, a drastic difference between the two. And you just want to line those up so that everything looks like it lines up nicely. Like that. And then we'll pick one of the greetings, maybe the get well wishes for this one. And we can pop that up with some foam squares. So how are you liking this, Tom?
I am thoroughly entertained.
From the gray space?
Yes.
We might have to get Chuck to make you a new sign. The gray space. That's so funny. Okay.
What is it about this that is so spectacular? It's using fewer colors.
Yeah. I just think because it's unexpected, you know? And it's still, the cool thing about it is that you still get all the shading because of the different grays that are in there. So you haven't lost all the depth and dimension of ink blending. But it's so unexpected and different that, like, I wouldn't even put any embellishments on there. Yeah, it's the simplicity of it, exactly. All right, so we'll do a quick layout on this one too. And I think I will do, I think I'll do Master Layouts 2 on this one. So we have a little bit of a wider border. Oh, it's so crooked on the screen. Sorry about that. So let me grab Master Layouts 2, and we'll do the With Sympathy for this one. Yeah, it's so fun. It's just fun. It's something different. It's something new to try, and we all like new techniques to try. And this isn't like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. It's so like crazy or whatever. It's not. It's super easy. So I think I'm going to cut this more so that it's like a little chopped off at the bottom there. And I think that'll look good. So this one will be just a little more clean and simple, but the greeting is smaller. Yeah, you could definitely do a bright colored sentiment if you want to jazz it up. That's totally doable. I just like that we have the little stitching in there, and that just gives it a little something extra. You know what I really meant to do? Darn it. I meant to die cut this. Because you can die cut this flower out and pop it up. And I meant to do that. And it would have looked so much better. But here we are. So we got to go with this now. That's what I meant to do. I love the fact that that layering stencil has a die. It just makes it look so amazing when you pop it up. So just remember that if you make one, die cut that out and then pop it up onto your white card base, and it'll just create that separation. It'll be beautiful. I just don't have time today to do the whole thing over, and I don't think you guys want to watch me do the whole thing over. But this will be good for today. It was really about the grayscale and getting that grayscale look out there. So, should we use the black?
So if you die cut what you had left, that wouldn't work?
No, it wouldn't work. You need the whole die, and you need all the leaves and everything, and then those leaves would extend outside of the panel.
And then if you put it back together and die cut it, it would have all the stitches in there in the wrong places.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. Definitely wouldn't work. Actually, am really digging this color cardstock for this shaded panel. I know it's hard to believe that I'm not using black cardstock on these cards, but I feel like we have so much gray that it kind of makes up for my... You love it with the black, Estella? Okay, well, we'll do a side-by-side and we'll see, and maybe more people will like it with the black. There is more black in this one, so it is a little more dramatic. So let's take a look. I think you might be right, but we'll look at it together and we'll decide. You know what? I think you're right. I think if we do it with the black and we add a few black embellishments, because I think for this one, the gray just...
Or maybe
it's
silver.
Just drab with the gray. What's that?
Or maybe silver.
Yeah, I just don't have any silver. So silver would definitely work. You mean silver embellishments or
Silver
cardstock?
embellishments.
Oh yeah, silver embellishments would work because they are grayscale. But I feel like the little bit of black that's in here, and then the greeting being stamped in black, a few little black embellishments will just tie everything together, and you're going to feel that pop from it. So we'll give it a try. I'll use the other piece here. Yeah, I agree. The gray almost disappeared. It's true. It's true. You are right. Okay. So let's get this together. Oh, I'm kicking myself for not die cutting that. But, I mean, that's one of the coolest things about the Whimsical Primrose stencil is that it has a coordinating die that's so easy to cut it out, and it just takes it up to the next level. When you can die cut something that you stencil like that, I love it. But that
well, now
day.
They can take a Gina K card one step further.
That's right. They can step it up for sure. And they will. There's going to be some gorgeous cards in our Facebook group later. I just feel it. Everybody's going to be pulling out different stencils that they have. And all right, and we'll do the sympathy right here, right there. And we'll pop that up, and then we'll add a few little black pearls in there. Put it right over there. I kind of like it here. I know that covers that one thing, but I feel like it fills in that little empty space. And then a few little black pearls will make everything just come to life a bit. So let me get my jewel picker. And we'll just put like a black pearl here. You gotta pick it up that way. And we can use all little tiny ones.
Pam wants to know, since it was Tom's idea, why didn't he make the card?
Yeah, Tom.
We could have been out of here an hour and 20 minutes ago.
Or we could still be here tonight. One or the other.
Or we could still be working on the first part.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. He should have done the card. I don't know what I was thinking. It would have been good to have him do that. You know what? I have to admit that Tom, when I was out there yesterday telling the girls that we were going to do this, Luann suggested that maybe you make the card.
And then these cards would have never happened.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like that. I think that's pretty.
It would have been just a bunch of big black and gray shards.
Shards. That's your main technique. What was that video called? Do you remember your technique?
No, I don't remember.
You don't remember? Something neo
Pop.
Geo
Pop Neo.
Yeah. Something. If you didn't watch Tom make a card, check the YouTube channel and type in Tom makes a card. It was very fun. We did a challenge in our group, and everybody, I've never seen so many people take part in a challenge in my life as they did in that challenge, because they loved what you did. It's so different than anything I would have done, and probably different than they would have done too, because we look at it a little bit differently, but you did something really cool. So it was fun. All right, so I like the little black embellishments on there. Some of you may not, but that's okay. We can all kind of have our things that we love. So there are 2 grayscale cards. Let me zoom in closer on them so that you can really get the feel for these.
Love.
It was a great idea, Tom. It really was. And I like them both, even though I forgot to die cut the Primrose. I still think it turned out really pretty. And definitely something that a lot of people can do with different layering stencils that they already have in their collection too. And I just wanted to remind you guys that this was very limited. I don't even know if it's still available, but this is the Wildflower Stems 3D embossing folder, stencil, and die bundle. So if you wanted to pick that up, we just had a couple hundred left this morning out of the thousands that we had on Tuesday. So, all right. Well, this was so much fun. We've got to give away a gift card today. But before we do, if you liked today's video, and we hope that you have, we'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you're new to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and all notifications so you never miss another video. And then if you're not a member of our Facebook group, we'd love to have you over there. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. It's a group of 49,000 plus crafters who share our different projects that we've made with Gina K Designs stamps, dies, embossing folders, the whole thing. So it's a fun group, very encouraging group. I love our group over there. It makes my day. It's the first place I go with my coffee in the morning. And then Brianne Loveland, again, thank you so much for helping out with all the links today. But if you missed any of the links that Brianne shared, you can find everything that I used in today's video on our website at ginakdesigns.com. All right, Tom, let's give away a $15 gift card.
Oh, okay.
You look ghoulish over there. It's like depressed.
All right.
Can I be in black and white?
Yes, we can all be black and white. Do you want to be in black and white too?
Yeah, I mean, it's a grayscale. I want to be grayscale too. Is there a way to make me grayscale? Oh my gosh. Tom's going to work his magic to make me in grayscale. If not, it's not a big deal. I mean, I just want to, just playing around here. Look, I'm in grayscale. I feel like I'm in an old-fashioned movie. How cool is that? Here we are in black and white TV.
All right.
All right. Let's do it.
Drum roll, please. Today's winner is Donna Glass. Donna
Yay,
Glass.
Donna! Congratulations, Donna. You are the winner of a $15 Gina K Designs gift card. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we will get this out to you. You know what I love about this grayscale? Look how white my teeth look. That's awesome. I think I'm going to do all my videos in black and white going forward. Just the overhead in color. What do you think? I'm just kidding. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun. Let's take one more peek at the cards. These are the 2 cards that we made in grayscale. These are really in grayscale. See, my hands are not. And give these cards a try. I can't wait to see what you come up with, or this technique a try. All right, everybody. Well, Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live. And in the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.